Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Hump day. Feelings day. Sacral Chakra day. I'm on a fast right now. It's a water fast from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Today is my last day. Cheers. So I go 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I drink water. I break my fast with superfoods, and then I do what I want. I love you guys because we're all connected. That's just what I do. However you need to do it, you need to do it the way you feel called to do it. I don't have rules in energy. The only rule is to learn how to trust yourself, right? So I'm Sarah Richardson. I'm a cheerleader for the divine. I'm the creator of Always Think Up, and I want to talk sacral chakra stuff with you today, right? Because today the energy of the sacral chakra is really strong, and so a lot of people are feeling it. A lot of people are feeling it. A lot of people that I love are feeling it, and so I have my crystal, citrine, I have my orange on, right? I woke up this morning before True woke up for school. Good morning, love. I came down here and I got in my feelings. And, for me, it was really hard to get in my feelings. And so I needed the 417 hertz and I needed the orange and I needed, to start learning how to catch the lessons that were coming to me in my feelings. The sacral chakra is all about feelings and emotions, and if you're covering feelings and emotions, if you're hiding feelings and emotions, a lot of times that energy can be flipped into like anger or rage. And so, either you're like feeling your emotions and like, yeah, good things and bad things happen to all of us, but some people can just feel them all, where some people go through certain things and the feelings and the emotions cause a rage inside of them. And so, inner child work has helped me so much. If you guys want to know more about it, I know a couple different people that do it. It's amazing. It's helped me so much in this space in my life. And it's funny because the sacral chakra has to do with everything, right? But like, we can only do what we can do. We can't do everything at the same time. So, one of the things about the sacral chakra is being able to be still, and also like know in that stillness that you're still creating your life, right? That's a big lesson that I have learned in working with my sacral chakra. Sacral chakra has everything to do with the relationships in our lives. And so, I meet a lot of people and they talk to me and they say, I don't want a relationship. And, to me, that's just like the armor words. Like, I don't want a relationship. I hate money. I hate evil. All of those things that come up in that place, those are what I call words of armor, right? And those are words that we say when we think that we're protecting ourselves from something that has broken our heart. But like, what is crazy about the solar plexus chakra is that like, that's like the place where all our fluid of all our power of like how great we are comes from. And so a lot of times when you have tucked feelings and tucked emotions, and then you're speaking these words in the flip, in the anger, right? Then you're going to create that and keep creating that into your life because you're creating it from the feelings. Like your subconscious mind is creating those things for you from the intenseness of the feelings. And people are strong out here. People can hold in feelings and emotions like crazy. And it's crazy because like I never really noticed until I worked on mine. I was like super strong about that kind of stuff, right? And so now, it's crazy, how you observe the reflections in your life, right? Because we're all in a relationship. We're all, everybody that has come on here, I have some sort of relationship with them. Everybody that I have dated, is a part of my eternal life. It's like we make these mistakes or we go through this heartbreak and we want to cut this thing out like it never existed and just move forward. And then we keep wondering why these same lessons keep coming back up. And it's because, your relationship with that person is eternal, and there's something that you need to learn from that. And so if you cut that out, you're gonna get it in new reflections that are coming to you, and that doesn't always feel good. So the sacral chakra also is about all like the sex, the sexual energy, the Crestos, the reproductive system, everybody's sex organs. The sacral chakra is about your kids, so that's coming up real big today. Parenting, anger, how that all blends together. So you have like energetic things, right, that I just told you that it's involved in. And then you have physical things. And so the physical thing is the bladder and the bowel and the sex organs and the guts and the womb space and the belly button, right? And so, for instance, our kids take on our stress, right? So even though I've been working this space a lot, I still get anxious, even though I've been cleaning out my guts, even though I've been listening to the 417, even though I've been doing womb work, even though I've been getting in touch with my sex and my feelings and my emotions and my inner child and my orange and all of these things, right? These things still come up for me. And so, we're going through stuff, and you don't just heal something and cut it out. Like it's part of your eternal life. And so I'm going through a lot of different things in my feelings, in my sex space, in my, all of that, right? I'm healing. I'm not all the way healed yet from all of the things that I've been through, and I'm just trying my best, right? And so in my now moments, I'm a mother. And so all of a sudden, 2 days ago, my daughter is like, two nights ago, she's like, I have a urinary tract infection. It burns when I pee. I have a urinary tract infection. Hi, love. And I was talking to my girlfriend, and I was just like so like frustrated with it and thinking I wasn't doing things right or whatever. And she was like, well, the spiritual meaning of that is like stress and anxiety and like being like nervous and stressed about things. And I feel bad because like, even though I cover up the feelings and the emotions of the stress and I tuck it down and I act like I'm good and I got this and everything's fine, deep down in me, there is some stress, some emotional stresses. Our body takes in chemical stress and emotional stress, and it can't tell the difference between the two. And the chemical stress is in everything, right? And the emotional stress is in everything that is inside of you. And so, there's a part of me that knows in this physical time space that the stress that I've been pushing down, my daughter just mimics my vibration. And, she's showing me through her physical, like, calm the fuck down, right? And so when I say that we give these things to our kids, I'm not being mean to you. I'm not saying that you're not a good parent. I'm telling you that, like, as I see these things happening in me and my daughter and in our life and in our world, I'm just sharing with you, how our internal frequency affects our kids. It affects the way they grow inside the womb. It affects the way that they, learn. They mimic us vibrationally, so like if your kid is being mean, like you're mean to your kid. And I'm giving you so much love because that's so hard, because that comes from emotions. That comes from your feelings. That comes from your biases. Hello, Pamela. Thank you for stopping in. I'm sending you so much love to your schoolwork. So, a lot of these emotions, what I've learned, and these feelings come from, the feeling of being orphaned, the feeling of being abandoned, the feeling of being unseen and unheard. A lot of that comes from when we were children. And so our parents didn't mean to. And so, there's a lot that you have to go through with this, right? But like the way that we're reacting and responding to things is based on the feelings of when we were children, because we just learned vibrationally to sever the thing and keep going forward. But as you're learning and as you're seeing in your life, no matter how forward you get, something can pop up on your forwardness and be like, hey, I'm here. Help me. I'm here, right? I love you guys because we're all connected. I talk about this because, it's weird getting to know your inner child. And I've done it and I do it. And now as I train myself and as I work with this, I'm getting more comfortable. Like all of these things, you know, it's like a job. You train for a job, right? The job of learning learning yourself and learning how you operate and learning how you create and learning what's finding balance and all of that. You have to take time with you. You have to take time with that. You have to make time for you to learn about you. So that's why I talk energy body, God body, so you can start to learn about you. You know, this sacral chakra, it's in me and it's in my story, but it's in you. It's in you. It's part of you. You know, what can happen sometimes if your sacral chakra is out of balance is, you know, issues in the reproductive space, you know, infertility issues, very low sex drive, menstrual cycle issues, low back pain, because that's all tied into that, kidney issues, stomach disorders, right? So these are real physical things that happen once you carry this heaviness in your sacral chakra, in your womb space for so long, right? So you can only push down the feelings for so long until they are going to fucking explode. What is happening right now is people are exploding with feelings. Their feelings, their emotions, and it's been so tucked down and so repressed inside of them, and it's just been building and building and building. It's powerful. It's powerful energy. And so when you're off in that space, that not being healed in you comes out as anger towards other people, right? It's real. I've done it. I've had it done to me. It's real. It's real. And like, it's crazy because like as much as I can see the growth in the world and the changes in the world and, you know, the whole world kind of incorporating this holistic viewpoint, at the same exact time, I do see the same of a lot of anger coming out of people, because that is how deep these emotions, you know, it's not just you and what you've been through in your life with your parents and your money and your sex, right? We're talking about ancestral lineages of pain, of emotions, tucked emotions, of all of these feelings that nobody felt like they could talk about because it was so cliche to talk about. You know, it's cliche to talk about your sex. You know, it's cliche to talk about sex, drug addictions. It's cliche to talk about getting raped. It's cliche to talk about, you know, talk about sex with your kids, talk about your private parts with your kids. You know, all of these things are such a fine line in people's lives right now. And I get it. And that's where it comes from. And so that's why I say the things that I say, because they're inspired from within me. So as I work on this, I'm inspired from within to say things that get your attention in these spaces, right? You can feel like a fool about your feelings, and that is very common. So if you are getting into this sex space, if you are getting into this sacral chakra, if you're getting in tune with your feelings, if you're trying to go in to study to become emotionally matured, study yourself. This is the best study you will ever do on your life, is the study of yourself. These chakras, as you learn about them and as you read about them, you'll see it has everything to do with how you are running your life, how you are experiencing your life, how you're creating your life, how your relationships are, how you're, you know, all of that. Yes, Amanda. It's so normal to feel like a fool about your feelings, right? And the more you work it, the less you feel a fool about it, right? You know, and your root has everything to do with your sacral. So, you know, a lot of times if you go in and you can't handle like the emotional part of it, go to the root. You know, if you have a lot of emotions going on, clean your house, clear your house out. That will help you lighten up the feeling of emotions. It's crazy because it is really micro, macro. It really is as within, so without, as below, so above, right? It really is these things. And so there's all kind of different ways to maneuver to help your energy body clear from the things it's trying to clear and release. It's trying to release these emotions, but we're tough ass motherfuckers. So we hold it back. We suppress the feelings and we suppress the emotions because that is what we were taught vibrationally. That is what we are vibrationally mimicking as adults. We are vibrationally mimicking tucking our feelings and emotions. And then right now we're at like a pivotal place because they're coming up. So the vibration is lifting. So it's pushing at the things that have been tucked for so long. So you look like the crazy one in your family. You look like the crazy, for yourself person because you're actually feeling these feelings. I talk to so many people and they're like, I'm happy and sad at the same time. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. And it's deep, like losing babies. Like, I have gotten so deep in that with my feelings, right? That it's like, I'm even at the place where in losing my babies, I can be really sad and my heart hurts and feels it so bad. And I, do really kind of quickly flip through like maybe what it would have been like if I would have had my babies, right? What our lives would have been like, what my babies would have been like and look like and whatever, right? And then at the same exact time, when I get through that one feeling, then I get to another feeling of, what? Maybe that really was divine. Maybe, the way that relationship turned out and the things that we went through emotionally, maybe that was divine. Maybe that baby was like, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not dealing with you, right? We don't know these things, but like a lot of women get stuck in miscarriage for the rest of their lives. And, like these womb issues, they're making people want to fucking kill themselves. And that's why I want to talk about it. And I want to send love to the trauma in the womb and all the men and women across the whole entire planet. There's sexual assault, there's fear and anger and so much pain and hurt and emotions, right? There's so much pain in there in each and every one of us. And so I love your fucking guts. Like, I really do love your guts. All that shit that's in there, I love you. I love that shit, right? I love to get you to go up to that shit and be with it and get and sift through it. And I try to give you all the tools that will help you to feel better to do that. We are out here breaking generational curses and healing generational trauma. Yes, we are. And, that comes up at the Sacral Chakra when the Earth's energy is strong in the Sacral Chakra, then we mimic the vibration of the Earth. So today, no matter how much somebody maybe is feeling like they don't want to face their feelings and don't want to feel their feelings, then they're probably at a place of like resistance and like fight kind of. And then if you have somebody that's just like surrendering to all the feelings, then they might seem like depressed or low or crying or whatever. But I see a lot of people out here trying to change people's feelings, and we can't. I know that it comes from a good place. I know that you love them so much. I know that you want to give them advice. I know that you want to help, right? But the best thing you can do for if you are running into somebody like that is give them love. Give them unconditional love, because we don't know exactly what they need to heal their sex space. We don't know exactly where they are along the way. We don't know what they believe. We don't know what they trust. We don't know what they've been through. And so unconditional love is just like a love blanket that comes and just holds that person. I think of it as like a love pod, and it just gives them what they need, and they get it their way, how they need to, right? That's what's so special. And, that's all a part of letting go of trying to control everything all the time, right? So the pain in my sex space made me want to like be a control freak over the things in my life, even the people that I was trying to help, and to work on my womb space and work on my sacral chakra and work on my emotions and get more emotionally mature out here. I learned that I don't really know what they need, but like the nurture part of me does want to send love when something's going on. A lot of us feel really unsafe and unsure, right? So like when you have these feelings and emotions that you're suppressed, you kind of feel like you're on guard, right? And so you can feel unsure, but you really are safe. And so, but the whole thing is like, if you're out here and like you're thinking, they're going to rob my car, they're going to break into my house, they're going to steal my kids, they're going to force my life, they're going to, you know, some sense of that, right? When you have to, like, it's an inner knowing that you're safe from that. It's an inner knowing that you're protected from that. It's an inner knowing, right? It's like, we don't have to discuss it. Like, we know it, right? And so you really are safe, but you feel unsure. And I totally get that. Like, I totally resonate with, you are safe, but you feel so unsure about that in different positions that you're sitting in your life. And so, you know, for that, I send so much love. And that's just a big ball of love that will wrap around anyone that is feeling unsafe and unsure, because you are safe and you are sure. And when you do work on your root, and when you do work on your sacral chakra and your emotions and your emotional maturity, you can feel more powerful over your life. You can feel more responsible for what you're creating in your life, for what you're bringing into your life, for what you're tolerating in your life, for what you're expecting in your life, right? You know, there really are new beginnings happening. There really are new journeys that we're heading on. There really are a lot of risk. It's very risky, you know, doing this work. That's what you can feel. You know, it's very risky starting fresh. You know, if you've had a home and a partner and all these things, and now you're getting ready to go and start fresh, that's just scary. If you had a job and a routine and then it all changed, that's scary. You know, like this thing that came through that like took everybody's work, and that's scary. You know, and so a lot of people are still healing from the heartbreak of that, plus ancestral things, right? And you know, that's a good place. You know, if something happened and you feel unsafe or whatever about your work, about what happened whenever all this happened, you know, go into the current events. When you go, you can go into current events to heal yourself. You can listen to current events, see how that makes you feel, and go in on that feeling. So, you know, whatever something makes you feel, you take that thing and bring it in like, okay, thank you. And you feel all of that and you body all of that until it feels like a peaceful place. That's pretty much what this is all about, right? Feeling all of your feelings. And it takes work. It takes so much work, from going from a place of like never feeling your feelings to going into a place to feeling all your feelings. That's a journey. We need to be patient with ourselves. We need to love ourselves, right? And so, you know, what is your current outlook on life? What, you know, when you look forward at your life, when you look at where your life is headed, what is your outlook on that? Do you feel inspired about that, or do you feel depleted about that? Right? Look there. How is your temperament? Look there, right? You know, like I said, being off in the root chakra, the safety and security, that programming, that gets you off in your sacral chakra. We have been off in our sacral chakras. We have carried that down for eons since the beginning of time, right? And so that rolls into your solar plexus, and that rolls into the power that you feel to create your life. So like, there really are a lot of people right now that they might be up, moving around, going to work, doing their kids, making dinner, making cookies, going trick-or-treating, right? But they're really, their energy is like laying on the floor with like daggers in them. And I send so much love. People are fucking exhausted out here, and the battle is within you. So I know all this stuff is flaring up and all this stuff is doing, right? But when you really learn how to connect with yourself, you really learn that the battle is within you. If you're battling externally, you're battling internally. It's the micro, the macro. It's you, babe. It's us. It's not because we were bad that we're carrying this stuff. We're carrying it because that is how we were designed as vibrational beings. We're carrying these things because we are vibrational beings, and we are relearning that right now. That is why. And we are having to do the work of releasing that from a cellular level. So you can feel sick, you can get pimples, you can, all kind of things happen when you're releasing these things. Different areas of your body will hurt. Go inside yourself, ask. If you're going through something painful in your life, ask, who should I work with about this? Who can you send somebody to show me about this, right? I'm not sure about this. This is going on. It's in you. The power is in you. We're so off in the feeling space, in the knowing our own power, that we don't really always believe this stuff that I talk about so easy. So your sacral chakra is in a direct relationship with your third eye, right? So everybody's out here talking about, I don't want a relationship, but you better learn. You better learn a relationship, because the relationships that you have outside are a reflection of the relationships that you have inside. And does that mean that every person that did you dirty, that's your fault? No, it's a lot of both of us. Like, both of us needed the lesson at the same time. We're just in ourselves, so we can just see it from our side, right? But the relationship between in yourself with your sacral chakra and your third eye, that's using the feelings in a constructive way to create what you imagine and feel in your heart, right? And so imagine that this space is off, and so then your vision is off, and so then you're creating all this catastrophe in your life. And then, sometimes it's easier just to say, well, it's that. Why? But it's not, though. It's that. It's the energy body of you. It's the give and receive. It's the balance of the masculine and feminine. It's the balance of the relationships within you. As I start to get these relationships in flow with one another, my relationships outside are fucking magical. Like, magical, right? And so I believe in good relationships, right? I didn't used to believe in good relationships, but as I grew the relationship within me, then my relationships with my sisters got better. My relationships with strangers got better. My relationships with exes got better. My relationships with kids got better. All of these relationships, as I get better in me and I work on the relationships in me, then that shows on the outside in. So if you're having relationship issues, work on the relationships inside of you. We don't get in these relationships to put somebody in a box and keep them as they are. Hello, Chas. I love you. We want relationships because they help us. They help us to grow, and they help us to learn, and they help us to have fun. And the interaction is fun. And a lot of people are getting in relationships because of root work, social norms. I need them to pay for this. Well, we have kids together. Oh, that's my grandma. Oh, that's my sister. All of these things. And so, our relationships a lot of times are programmed relationships. You're supposed to be the best friend of the person that you went to high school with for 30 years and all. Your love, it has to be nice. There's all of these things. A lot of times being off in your sacral chakra will have you off and unsure about the choices that you're making in your life. So I get a ton of calls about, I got this really big choice that I got to make in my life, and I'm really unsure what to do. And, they really don't like my advice because I tell them every, angle of there are no mistakes, right? So you can do this, and this, and still be great, right? But, what you want to do is don't make a choice from like a fight or flight vibration. And so that. Like, only you know when you feel anxious. Like, if I call you and you're the master of hiding your feelings, and I'm like, oh, you want to go get ice cream? Yeah. And you're like, yeah. And then, feelings vibration is contagious. And so then I go pick you up and it doesn't seem like you want to be with me, and you drop your ice cream, and then the lady's mean to you. And like, all these things happen because the vibration in you is what sets the tone for, that's what you attract. That's what you draw to you. Like, I could be walking down the street with something shitty, and then they can get robbed and somebody can give me $100. because whatever our frequency is, that's what we are dealing with. We could be walking right past each other on the same street and have that same thing come in. Because I don't get robbed in my frequency. I get money, right? I get money. I get front row. I meet people. I get to the front. It's fast in line. I always get pay it forwards. Like I try to bring that into my life. I don't think of death and fear and all of those things because I've done a lot of work there. I used to think the worst. So when the worst happened, I was ready. Always think up is how I changed my mind to make my automatic thoughts be a lot different. And that takes time, right? If you are off in your solar plexus chakra, you have this thing where you don't want to dream big. You don't want to take action because you feel like that's foolish. You feel like dreaming big and wanting to take action. You're a fool for doing that. Through all, you've been hurt so much. How could you even possibly fucking trust in humanity again, right? But that's an internal thing. That's an internal job. Don't tell me that you can't because of the news and because of this and because of that and because of all these other things. It's an internal thing. It's in you. You can't do it because you don't want to go in and sit with those feelings and feel those feelings through. That's the only reason why you can't do it. Because you are just as powerful as me and everybody I know. You're a fucking gem. You're a gem. You're amazing. Everything is in you that you need to be the dopest you've ever seen in your life. But you gotta sit with the things that you feel, that you tuck, that are rolling you. They are rolling you. Sometimes you have to take a couple months off work. Sometimes you have to ignore your kids for a little bit. Sometimes you can't help the guy down the road. Sometimes you can't be available for people like you used to. Sometimes you can't remember the things like you used to. You don't throw the Christmas party together like you used to. That's okay. That's okay. You have to learn to love yourself when you're not in that place of, I'm the greatest. You have to love yourself at the pits of your soul. You have to love yourself when you feel like the worst, scaredest, fuck up, disgusting, worthless, unloved, unseen, unheard, uncared about. You have to love you there. You could call me and I love you there, but my love doesn't mean anything if you're not receiving it, right? So what happens a lot of times is when people are off in their feelings and their emotions and you try to give them love, do they receive it? No. They don't receive it because it's an armor. It's a block. Like, I'm going to protect my heart at all costs. I'm going to protect my feelings at all costs. I'm going to protect myself at all costs. And you're blocking out your fucking blessings. It's amazing to talk through some shit, man. I am so blessed that in getting in touch with my feelings, in getting in touch with my emotions, in gaining emotional maturity, because I'm still not there yet. I'm not there yet. I will get ratchet in a fucking minute sometimes, right? But I'm working on it. And so as you work it, and then you're like, whoa, dude, like I am reacting different. And then that's a moment of self-love where you're like, ooh, yes, girl. And when you're in touch with your feelings, you can take like 20 minutes if you want to and just be like feeling yourself like, yes. Now to me, it is sexy how I'm healing. It's making me feel sexy. In my socks that don't match, in my sandbox, in my life, in the clothes that I put on, in the tattoos that I get, in the way that my life is peaceful, right? Because feeling sexy and feeling turned on is more than sex. It's so much more than sex. But, in our society, in our vibrational programming, we're programmed into like sex, dick, tits, ass, fucking, coming, doing all this stuff. But like, being turned on is more than that. Like, if you're only turned on when you're having sex, go work on your feelings. Because like literally I was like riding down the street today and I went to go pick up my niece and all this shit was crazy, right? She spilled her iced tea in her book bag, bless her heart, all down her. So I had to go get her and help her, right? And it's funny because even something like that, people get embarrassed, people, all these things, like maybe you had a test to do, whatever, right? So the universe is conspiring to get people in their feelings. So I go pick her up and I get her changed and I drop her off. And I see this beautiful tree, and it's fall here, Western Pennsylvania, and it's like red and orange and yellow, and the sun's shining down through the cracks. And I was turned on by that. I was turned on for life by that. Like, that made me feel good. That made me feel like the universe, God was like flirting with me right there. Like, thank you, man. Thank you. Do I like when it's 37 degrees? Nah, dog. But was that fucking beautiful? Yes. I have seat heaters. Fuck it. When you live in Western Pennsylvania, you get fucking seat heaters, right? Because that's the thing that I'm learning. I used to be like, oh no, I don't need seat heaters. And then I'd be in my car in my feelings because my fucking ass is cold. No, I need a seat heater. I want cheap gas, cheap tires, all this and that. And I want seat heaters. We're the creator of our experience, right? And it's all of these things, right? You know, so the truth really is that you are gifted. You are all gifted. So anybody that runs across me, anybody that runs across my friends, anybody that runs across my videos, you are a very gifted, very special human on this planet. You really are. We all are, right? Even the ones that don't watch me or don't see me or don't know my friends, they're very, very special. They have a unique specialness about them, just like you and I have a unique specialness about us. The unique specialness, you know, your pain, you know, it's funny because like how pain and passion kind of, you know, dance together, right? And so a lot of people are looking for their purposes. Your pain, your purpose, your passion, it's all right here. And so if you're ignoring your feelings, guess what you're doing? Does anybody know? If you're ignoring your feelings, what else is happening? You're ignoring your purpose. You're ignoring the universe turning you on. You are. And I know that there's a lot of hard stuff in there. And I'm here to talk about it if you want to talk about it. You know, take time with your feelings. It's a very vast space. Like, so a lot of people think feelings is just the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and it's just this little space, and like, that's it, right? No, it's like a whole entire fucking universe of you. It's like a universe in you, of what you're holding, right? There's wisdom inside of you. Ask for help. Ask in for help. If you don't know and you don't trust and you're unsure and you're uncertain and you can't make a choice, who the fuck do you ask? Who the fuck do you trust? Who do you talk to? What do you do? Ask in. Ask into you. I am at this place in my life of blank, whatever it is, and I need your help. Send something, send someone, guide me, show me, tell me, help me, right? And let it come in. Get yourself quiet for a minute. Turn on the healing frequencies. Write in a journal. Take a walk. Take a bath. There's all kinds of things you can do to get grounded into yourself. Ask a question and listen. If you can't hear, say, show me how to listen. Show me how to hear you. You'll get it. You will get it. It's in you. We all experience moments of unavoidable defeat. I have been through it, fam. I promise. Emotionally devastated. Been there, right? And there's all kinds of different ways you can be emotionally devastated. Left feeling like you're left for dead out here. Don't have any other options. Stuck, lost, afraid, right? Get into your root. Get into your feelings. Get into the power that is within you. That is how we're opening our hearts. So if you can strengthen the lower chakras, if you can strengthen the relationship between the lower chakras and the higher chakras, that's balance. That's the balance of the masculine and feminine and what everybody tries to make it be, right? It's just energy, right? And you need to balance it out, and it balances out in your heart. And a lot of us are avoiding the programming in our root. We're avoiding the way we feel. We're avoiding the power that we have in ourselves. And it only seems to come up when we're pissed. the wrong way, right? And so you need to find that balance. And so I tell everybody that's doing any kind of vibrational work, anytime it gets too fucking hard, go into your heart and do something you love. It could be walking a dog. It could be braiding hair. It could be smoking a blunt. It could be having sex. Whatever you need to do, go get back into your fucking heart, because sometimes this work is fucking hard. It's hard to get into vibrational alignment. It's hard to go into the root programming. It's hard to go into the feelings. It's hard to go into the womb space, the sexual pain, the sexual trauma. These things are very hard. So as you're working these things and as you're doing these things, please make sure to love you and nurture you through it. You know, that's one of the parts of the sacral chakra. And in the sacral chakra, you know, to me, Mother Mary is very linked up to that place, right? Because it's like the nurturing, the mother, how you mother yourself. That's what sacral chakra is to me now, right? You know, opening your heart after you went through any kind of heartbreak is work. It is, right? So we have all these feelings and we have all these emotions, and they're linked up to this heartbreak, and it's so intertwined and it's so involved in our lives and our kids and our everything, right? And so it's work to open up and trust after you've been through some kind of heartbreak. But where do you do the work? The work has to go on inside of you to get a different story, to get a different outcome, to create something different than what you've been creating, to create something different than the patterns that have been recreating since the beginning of time, because man and woman are pissed. The man and woman from the beginning of time are pissed. And that's what we've been carrying down and passing down and smiling and covering up and doing, right? And now you're at this place where you're noticing it in you and you can't figure it out. And people like me might kind of get on your fucking nerves. I love you. I know, right? I know. There was a time where people like me got on my fucking nerves. You know, you can recover. You have to feel it all. So when you go through a heartbreak, you have to feel it all. You can't rush it. Allow yourself to be whatever that is for you. So we all go through different heartbreaks: work, love, sex, money, you know, neighbors, kids, all these different things. Don't rush trying to heal it. Like, don't rush, like, be in the now moment with it. Take it to the grocery store with you. Take it to gymnastics class. Take it to the church. Take it to your friend. Take it with you. We're so used to trying to put these feelings up on the shelf and just putting on our church face, putting on our work face, putting on our mom face, putting on all these things, right? Take it with you, or leave it if you have to, right? A lot of people are exhausted. A lot of people feel like they could just collapse at any moment. A lot of people are very depressed. A lot of people are having these very obsessive, fearful thoughts that are just running and running and running and running and running and running. And sometimes they say, and most of the time they don't, give them love, give love, surround people with love. When you see it and it just, you surround them with love. It's going to help, right? People get hurt. People get hurt. People are trying to release the hurt. And sometimes when you're releasing the hurt, then you hurt people more, and you don't mean to, right? But then they turn wild. So the hurt turns you wild. Like, sometimes you'll be so much in your hurt that anger is just so wild. People want to hurt people when they're hurt, right? Hurt people hurt people. People are on fire when they're hurt. The anger, the words, the things that they say, the things that they could do, you know, whatever, you never know. They're in a sea of emotions when they're hurt. They're angry as fuck when they're hurt. And so, you know, we have to give love. And that's okay if you can't give love. Dip out and let somebody come in that can give love, right? We're learning to use the energy, the fluid in our sacral chakra to create our lives. And that's really tricky. And, you know, you have to train yourself. Like, I used to punch the punching bag. Like, when I first started punching the punching bag, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? And then as I started doing it, then I started to have like a routine about it, kicking it, doing whatever, right? And learning to work on my emotions has been the same thing, but just very different. So I'm not going in and physically doing this punching bag, but like, shit. Sometimes when I come out of my work with my feelings, I feel the same way as I did whenever I was like hitting the punching bag for hours, right? Because it's emotional work. You know, when I used to go hit the punching bag, I was angry. I was full of emotions that I was suppressing and holding down when I used to go run and things like that. And so the exhilaration that you learn to get from that is kind of the same as running or hitting the punching bag or doing a really intense workout, right? So I say be patient with yourself. Rest if you're doing feeling work, inner child work, inner womb work, all of these things. You get really tired. You get really drained. And we're learning how to love and nurture and mother ourselves. So, I mean, what about when you didn't feel good and your mom be like, come the fuck on. Hurry up. That's what we do to ourselves. You don't have time to be tired. You got to hustle. You got to make it. You can't let these people down, right? That's how we push ourselves out of like, okay, I need a day to relax, right? Now, I'm supposed to be taking a nap today, right? Because I'm up late and whatever. And it's daylight out and it's really hard for me to nap. And so this is something that I'm working on now in my self-love journey, right? Being able to take a nap during the day if I need to. So you know, when your emotions feel off, you feel a deep need to defend yourself, right? With the people that are making your emotions feel off, and then even other people that like come into your vibration. Like, you know, when something goes off, you're like, I don't fucking trust anybody right now, right? It's a protection mechanism. It's the armor. It's the shield that I was talking about, right? So people get hurt in their feelings, and then they put up these shields to protect themselves. But what is really going on is like you're bottling up all your demons. You know, it's like the demons that people talk about are in their womb space. They're making them misuse their power. They're making them, you know, put more attention towards things that aren't serving them and less attention towards things that fuel them, right? It's all kind of stuff that happens in that place. My mom still yells like that every day, and I don't know what to do anymore. Send love. It's a deep hurt. And a lot of times, you know, the older you are, the more entrained you are in that vibration, and the harder it is to change that. And so just send love. You know, we love our moms, no matter how hard it was, and no matter, you know, they do studies on kids. I've been a part of a lot of these, right? And no matter what kind of life that kid has, they love their fucking mom. Like their mom can't do any harm. And so, you know, the inner child, the sacral chakra, like that's what we need. That's what comes up a lot, is the relationship with your mother. The way your mother nurtured you, because you have to kind of come in and nurture yourself, because she wasn't taught to nurture her kids that way, vibrationally. Like, you know, and it's crazy because like now I know, like, not only was she not taught to love us like that and to do us like that, but it was like, you know, the whole system was set up against the mother's love. You know, and like right now, a lot of me and my friends with young kids, we're like breaking these systems, and we look like the weirdos because we're breaking the system. And that's a really hard place to be. And so, you know, I understand from that lower vibration why a lot of women couldn't really stick up for themselves in their wombs, in their sex, in their feelings, in their emotions, and say what they needed to say and do the things that they needed to do, right? And so they were caught up in these worlds that they fucking hated. They were in these partnerships, they were having these kids, they were doing all of these things, and inside was so much anger and pain. You know, a person can only love you as much as they love themselves, and that goes for your kids. You can only love your kids as much as you love yourself. So mothers that are angry and yelling and screaming and fiery, they're hurting. And I know that we want to fix it. And we want so bad to see them live the lives that we can envision in our minds, right? But we don't know the way, and we don't know what they need. And so we need to send them unconditional love. If you're in a bad spot with your mother, if you were in a bad spot with your mother and now she passed away, send her unconditional love every time something comes up that feels bad. So true. I feel. It's one of my big affirmations for a day like today. I feel. And then I start to talk about my feelings to people. I feel like this. Well, why is that? I don't know. I feel it. And people are so used to telling you what they think that you want to hear that they're like, well, what did I do? And what did I? Nothing. I just feel it. Because when you're in tune with your sacral chakra, you're in tune with your feelings, and you don't need them to be validated by anyone. And that takes work. That's why I talk about this, because we need to do this. We need to be in tune with our feelings. We need to trust our feelings. We need to trust our guts. We need to trust ourselves. We need to trust that we are the creators of our experience. We do what we want, right? We need to do this. You know, no one wins the battle of your inner demons. Like, no one's winning and no one's losing when your inner demons are like battling you. Well, you're losing. You're losing because you're not seeing the fullness of life. You're not seeing you're not getting turned on in your now moments. You're waiting for some external thing to turn you on. Self-love is the win, man. You know, calming the beast within. Self-love has helped me calm the beast within. You know, it helped me to respond and not react. That's the beneficial advantage here. You know, when you do inner child work, you can respond and not react in that fire anymore. You respond in your power instead of reacting in that fire, and it's different. It's strength. It goes right. It's power. It's powerful. Letting the emotions build makes you feel like you're going to burst. So a lot of people right now driving in the car, going to work, whatever, you know, on a day like today, they could have a lot of mental breakdowns, right? Or you could take that energy that makes you feel like you're going to burst and get turned on, and you can create with that, right? So you can either blow fucking everybody up, or you can create some great shit with that, right? That's the same exact space. There is a higher power than me or you. There is. I've tested it, and it's the truth. I know a lot of people don't get that yet. I know a lot of people don't feel that yet. I know a lot of people are starting to feel it and never felt it before, and they aren't sure. And you're going to get better as you start to ask that higher power that is within you and everything around you. As you start to learn how to be in a relationship with that, things get better. Like, I'm telling you, man, quit worrying about your boyfriend or your mom or your sister or all the shit you can't get right. Get this relationship with the higher power, the higher than you. Get it. Find it. Ask. I needed this so much today, love. I feel so much. I'm feeling my youngest son. I love you so much. I love you. You're not failing your son. You're not. And you know, you can feel that. I'm not trying to push you out of that feeling at all. Fall actually into that feeling and feel all of that. And ask to see or know, you know, where does this root of this emotion come from? Like, that's what you do when you do this inner child work and you go back to be inner child. You go to the root of the pain. You take the feeling and you take it to the root. Like, how you get under it is you take it and you take it to the root. Whatever it is, you take it to the root of you. The root of you is in the womb, as a child, right? Ask things, you know, test it your damn self. Test this higher power yourself. It's been my guide, my teacher, my lover, my helper, my protector, my inspiration, my strength, my intelligence, my knowledge, my wisdom, my best friend, my everything. The mother, the father, the helper, the disciplinary, right? It's been my love. Love is healing me. You know, wanting like a luxurious lifestyle, that's been coming up, right? So a lot of people have been talking to me about this in different ways. Like, you know, I want to be rich or I don't want to be rich. I want to have all kind of nice things or I don't want to have all kind of nice things. Like, I deserve it and I'm worthy of it or I'm not, right? This has been coming up in a lot of different conversations. You know, you're not sure. Like, a lot of us are desiring with our hearts a luxurious lifestyle, a life of luxury, right? But we don't feel like we deserve it. We don't feel like we're worthy of it. we can't see it because our feelings are bad about it, right? So we can only envision like the bad things that could come from a luxurious lifestyle. We can't envision the good things that could come from it, right? But God shows out, y'all, like the higher power, God, or whatever, right? So, you know, I was just talking about this. So this came up for me to talk about with you guys, and I was just had a powerful conversation, and I had like, you know, 8 more people say this to me, right? And so, you know, I've been creating my experience. I've been intentionally creating my experience for a while, right? And so I actually started with like writing down 5 things on a little teeny tiny post-it note. And it was like best mom, home life peaceful, $1 billion healing business, world traveler, best-selling author, you know, peace, freedom, harmony, joy, flow, right? Time, freedom. And luxury looks different to everybody. So luxury is different for everybody. Luxury is, I wrote the definition, a state of great comfort and extravagant living. That's different for each of us, right? So, but the only thing guaranteed in a luxurious lifestyle is if you think against it, that's guaranteed, right? So if you're thinking against being a billionaire, that's guaranteed. If you're thinking against being an author, that's guaranteed. If you're, you know, and it's funny how heart's desires work, because sometimes your heart's desires come up like, I want to write a book. And then all the pain and trauma that you've been through is like, bitch, you ain't writing no fucking book. Who are you to try to tell somebody something? What? Right? That's the internal battle. That's the demons within, right? I just try to give like examples of how this works. So why wouldn't we dream huge? Why wouldn't we love ourselves, right? Why wouldn't we get in touch with our feelings and our emotions? Why wouldn't we want to propel the manifestations, the creations that we're making out here? Because we don't know how. Because we don't know how to do it. Because it's not a natural vibration to mimic, right? And so that's why I get up here. That's why I do these live videos. That's why I talk about it. That's why I live it. That's why I be real about it, right? Because it isn't this like holier than thou thing. I pull cards. I put them in Crown Royal bags. I do what I love and what I need to do. And I attract people that are like me, you know? Emotional maturity is required for a luxurious life. Whatever you picture as luxury in your life, whatever you want for yourself in your life, emotional maturity is required. I've met so many people that have had so much, and their emotions and their rage has just pissed it all away, right? They hate themselves. They have billions and billions of dollars, and they fucking hate themselves. And what is that? You know, what is that if you have billions of dollars and you hate yourself? That's your feelings. You keep creating that and recreating that in your life because you don't know how to feel your feelings. I got your back, right? Call me. You're the creator of your experience, and I love you no matter what. So whether you're out here raging out and fucking yelling at everybody, or whether you are cool, calm, and collected and fucking creating, I love you. I'm getting ready to sign my new home, but I feel so deep inside that I don't truly deserve it, or maybe it's not the right thing to do right now. It's been such a long time coming. I have been working on building it for the past year. I feel like the rug will be pulled out from underneath me. That's a big thing to work on, right? Because you're like in the middle of that creation, right? And so if you keep thinking that, it's bound to happen, right? But you have to feel why you're thinking that you don't deserve that. Take it back to your childhood. And it's funny, like little things could come up that trigger you, that will help you with that thing that have nothing to do with that thing. And so pay attention in your now moments to the things that are coming up for you. You know, go into it. Sometimes if you go in and start talking positive about it, and that pings the reaction, sometimes that's where you can like kind of go in and get that, you know, that's the place to like, boop, enter here. What does it say? The love enters in the crack or whatever. I don't know. I keep it simple over here, shorty. But do you know what I mean? Because you do deserve that house. You know, that is your creation. And so, but I could tell you that all day. But you have to really get to the feeling of the unworthiness of that, right? I promote self-love. I promote that there are no mistakes. I promote to eat raw. I promote to keep it sacred. I promote to always think up. Do I mess up? Yeah. Does that change my heart? No. Yeah. Has my heart changed? Yeah. It's opened up a lot more. It doesn't have as much armor around it. It doesn't feel like it has to keep itself safe so much, right? It's kind of feels a lot more free to love and trust and float. You know, heartbreak can be from anything: spouses, relationships, sexual or not, family, work, homes, kids, parents, money, feeling defeated. It's feeling defeated. Heartbreak is feeling defeated about something. I love you too. You know, I used to think the worst about the things that I've been brokenhearted about. So whenever the worst came, I was ready for it and I was good, right? But I had to flex my mind daily to train myself. I had to always think up constantly from a place of the doo-doo. We need to find balance. We need to find balance in our energy. We need to find balance in our responsibilities. We need to find balance in our healing. We need to find balance in our real lives. We need to find balance in our heart's desires. We need to find balance in our now moments. We need to find balance in our emotions. That is a lot of work. Be patient with yourself. Do what you can do. There are no mistakes. Relax when you need to. Everything's good. You know, in this place, it's like learning how to be quick if you need to be, but be still when you need to be too. It's that balance, right? The balance of like you're ready for whatever. You're sturdy and you're connected. You're in your feelings and you're visualizing, and that's flowing. You're there's power in your voice, and that's a relationship that's flowing. And then the love in your heart, you can give and receive that at a flow, right? And that's why a lot of relationships don't work out here in the real world, is because of this little piece right here. We're not balanced within ourselves. We don't trust the relationship within ourselves. So how the fuck are we going to trust a relationship with somebody else? Learn about yourself. Worry about yourself. If the relationships in your life are off track, fucking take some time for yourself, for self-love. That's huge. And there's no time limit. You know, it used to take me 7 years to recover from a relationship, and now I did it in like 4 months. And it was deep, you know what I mean? And so there is growth. You just have to think about your own self. You have to think about the relationships within you. Let the relationships outside of you show you about the relationships inside of you if you don't get it. Work on the relationships outside of you if you don't get the relationships inside of you. Work on the relationships inside of you if you don't get the relationships outside of you, right? You are really so damn special. Like, you are so fucking amazing. And I know that if you're in your feelings and you're tucking your feelings and you're tucking your emotions, you hate that I say that. You're special. You're powerful. You're gifted. You're blessed. You're watched. You're sacred. You're amazing, right? You can actually hate me for saying that. And that's something that I face every day when I come out here to spread the love juice. There are people that love me, like him. And then there are people that fucking hate me because I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about addiction. I'm talking about all of these things. And I'm blending it all together. And I'm blasphemy. And I'm a death cult. And I'm a fucking white supremacist. And they'll say whatever they want in their fire. In their anger. In their emotional trauma. They will hurt you. But does that mean don't go outside? Don't fuck with people ever again because people are hurting people? No. That means build up your love bubble so nobody can fucking touch you. That's what alignment is to me. You know, even if somebody has hurt me, they are so fucking special, right? They deserve to heal from the hurt that came out on me. I know what that is. I know what it's like to tuck emotions and be triggered by emotions and say things you don't mean and do things you don't mean to do and hurt other people and then hide from that because you just need to ignore it because that's what you've been doing and you don't know any other way to face it, right? I know what that is. You know, it's hurt that's in another and they're projecting that on me. So is it always all your fault? No, but it's always all in you, right? And so when somebody's mean to me, does that mean I'm mean all the time? No. That is the hurt that they are reflecting to me, like I'm mean to my own self in another way that has nothing to do with them, but they're showing me that, right? I've done it. That's why I love you. We need patience to go the distance. So like in this life is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's not a race. And we need patience to go the long way, right? Every relationship is eternal, part of your vibrational makeup. Sex makes the stronger bond, right? And so every relationship, your best friend, your teacher, your neighbor, your dog, whatever, all of those relationships are eternal and meaningful, right? But then what happens is we have these sexual, energetic energy, sex energy bonds and ties to people too that are also running our mentals a lot. And so if you feel confused and if you feel like you can't make choices and you feel like you don't know what to do and you don't feel like you're God, you don't feel like you're pretty or worth it or a creator or whatever, quit fucking. Give yourself 30 days to clear out your energy and see what you actually feel like to get back to your pure vibration. Cut the cords, release the cords, cleanse the womb, try. And it takes time, right? We're holding a lot of other people's sexual energy in our womb space. So not only are we working on us and our ancestors and our pain and our emotions and all of our stuff, we're working on every single person that we sleep with too. That's deep. You have to be in your power now. You know, as you learn how to be in your power in the now moment, like all that you've been through is merging with all that you are right now. And so that is what we are going through. Where all that we have been through as humans and then how we're learning the strength of our spirit, that's holism. We've always had it, but we've never really quite known how to like operate it and bring it together and come into alignment with self, right? Becoming who we are creating. We're going from who we were and we're becoming who we are creating, and it's an actual like mergence in the physical body. You feel it physically. You need to release it physically. You do this. So no matter what my work is, my work makes it easier, and I still can't do it for you. You do it. You can't pay someone to actually merge yourself with your spirit. You have to do that part. Like there are a lot of people out here teaching a lot of different tools, but like you actually have to do it. You actually have to feel. You actually have to revisit the roots and the feelings and the emotions and the power and the sex and the drugs and the money and the control and all that stuff, right? Many people are helping you, but you got to do it. You got to feel the feelings. You got to learn to love you in your feelings. That's really what it is. The power of creation sits in the sacral juices, the crestos, sexual fluids. Gather your emotions. Gather up your power. You know, if you're there, different people sit at different spectrums. Some people are having a lot of sex to avoid themselves. Some people are having no sex to avoid themselves. You know, one of the big places in your feelings is you could look at your sex. You could look at your childhood. You could look at your feelings. You could look at your emotions, right? How are you observing situations? When you're observing situations, like I've seen people lose their minds over somebody disciplining their kid in the grocery store. I've seen people lose their minds over the way people drive. I've seen people lose their minds if people don't vote or vaccinate or, you know, all of these things are going on. But like, how are you observing these situations, right? Because I just am like, I can't fix them. I send them love. I keep it moving. How are you observing your relationships, your situations in your relationships? How are you observing your own feelings and emotions? How are you observing your sex life? How are you observing your money? How are you observing how drugs have affected your life and what you're bringing into the now moment? How are you observing your power and what you feel? Wanted or unwanted, we're constantly co-creating by our thoughts, feelings, and actions. I love you guys because we're all connected, man. This shit's fucking hard. That's why I try to talk about it and like make it so fucking normal. You know, it's getting a little bit easier for me now. I love you guys. I really do. I mean, we are really the creators of our experience, and we create by the things we think, feel, and say. And so that's why I really try to talk to you guys real about these things, about God body, about eating raw. You know, eating raw just helps to fuel the energy body. You know, it's like feeding the energy body. Like light, you know, the energy body needs to be light to like operate at its highest potential. Keeping your sex sacred, because everybody's energy ain't really as good as it looks. You know, sometimes the energy under a pretty face is really fucking nasty. I love you guys because we're all connected. If you have any questions, message me. One love.